Politicians are, of course, known to be the most honest people to ever exist. Says literally nobody ever. Well, the truth is they do lie a lot, from there are no missiles in that island to,
well, I'm not a crook.
but he is. Well, have you gotten tired of those lies? And do you think they should be punished? Well, today let's discuss if those lying politicians should be punished for lying. But first of all, we need to ask the question of if lies are already punished in the first place. Well, generally not. First of all, in authoritarian regimes, of course, the dictators aren't punished because whoever points out that they're lying just disappears. But what about in democracies? Well, most democracies like the US doesn't actually have a legal mechanism to punish politicians for lying. Now, of course, there are special cases, for example, lying under oath, which is perjury. If the lie involves fraud, defamation, or incitation of violence, then that does have legal consequences. But the general theme is it is really hard to punish political speech. Now, of course, when politicians do lie, there is sometimes consequences like defeating elections, loss of trust, bad press, but that is not always the case. Take this as an example.
I take the threat very seriously. I take the fact that he develops weapons of mass destruction very seriously.
Wow, I didn't know that oil is considered a weapon of mass destruction. Well, jokes aside though, that did cause the 2003 Iraq War, which killed hundreds and thousands and displaced millions. And yet, they still voted for George W. Bush in 2004. For me, this feels kind of bizarre of politicians lying without consequences. Like, can you imagine being in a relationship and be like, yeah, babe, I know I cheated, but I'm a politician? Which leads us into potential reasons why political lies should be punished. Well, first, there's the problem of democratic integrity. Democratic integrity depends on honesty. Voters can't make informed decisions if they are misled because lies distort the democratic process. And then there's the problem of accountability. Leaders have enormous powers, and truthfulness should be a fundamental value for holding such positions. In fact, it should be required for people to have such power. Because some lies, like vaccines or wars for example, can cause real damage to the important issues like world peace or health. Also, outside politics, other professions are accountable for their mistakes too, so why not politicians? Like doctors, lawyers, CEOs are accountable for their mistakes. Like, whoever did this guy's hair should be questioned. Like, why would you do this, man? Sometimes it makes us think if that is intentional. Anyways, let's move on to some potential reasons to not punish political lies. Well, it's mostly free speech, and in the case of US, that's the First Amendment, as this Duke University video explains.
Political speech, support or opposition of political figures, parties, and/or policies, enjoys stronger First Amendment protection. If speech is political in nature, no matter how outrageous and offensive it might be, it may still be protected by the First Amendment.
Yeah, truth in politics are often subjective or nuanced, and it is kind of hard to punish someone just because of what they said. Fundamentally, democracies protect the right to express opinions, even false ones, and policing the lies can risk censorship. Government pushing the idea of wrong speech has been used in authoritarian regimes to silence opposition. So the question really becomes whose responsibility it is to detect lies. Should we put a system in place or should we rely on the voters? Well, currently, since there's no legal punishment for politicians lying, it is really important to do research and verify facts. So next time you can tell between what is true,
I'm really rich,
and what is not.
I call President Obama and Hillary Clinton the founders of ISIS. They're the founders.